live. It shows that we're live now. One person been streaming for a minute. I shouldn't. If you're just tuning in, it looks like it's full 4K. So this time I got the resolution right. Well, it's full UHD. Yeah, is it UHD? It's 3,840 by 2160. So this is the bigger resolution, whereas the other one, the 1440, was kind of like double 720. It was like somewhere in between 480 and or full HD and 4K. The last test that I did. Let me share this on the old Twitter. Okay, so I'm gonna watch this later. We'll see how the buffering is. It's probably been better. And if I keep looking down, that's because I'm looking at my laptop. I got a unique setup here. I also have my phone over here, and the audio is probably way off on my phone and behind because of the lag. But the reason why I hooked up the phone is I want to show you the Starlink setup that I have. I got the beta of the Starlink, and it's pretty cool. So right now, what we're streaming over is an Ethernet connection to a router that goes to Ubiquiti AirFiber 60 gigahertz LR that goes to a tower about 6 miles away that has a 10 gigabit fiber optic interface. So we actually get a full gigabyte up and down right now, which is pretty amazing if you ask me. Let me make sure I've actually got the connection right. Now there's a really cool speed test that Ubiquiti has. It's called the Wi-Fi Man, and it works pretty good. Looks like I might actually be just on a 100 meg interface right now. Might be a limitation of the Ethernet adapter that I have plugged in. It's only going at 100 to tell. It looks, from my perspective, it looks pretty good right now. Whether or not I look good is a whole nother story, but we're not going to get into that right now. Hey, thanks for watching. Please chat and I'll respond the best I can. So I was just describing how the setup works. I'm in a fifth wheel camper that I got a deal on in an auction, and I've got a few different cameras set up. So this is what the webcam looks like. So this is the webcam. It's not, doesn't look nearly as good as the A7S. Now the A7S II is a full frame sensor Sony camera, and it looks fantastic. I've got a little light up in the corner, an LED light, and I'll show you. This is why I did this. So now I have a portable camera that I can take around. There we go. So this is my setup of my new little temporary studio. So this is a cool little light panel that you can change the color temperature for the lights between like daylight and LED and everywhere in between. This is the A7S that I'm doing the live streaming from, and my laptop. I have a MacBook that I was trying to set up, but licensing with Wirecast is being picky. And here is what I'm sure everybody that's watching this for is Starlink. So this is the router that they give you and it just has a PoE, power over Ethernet, that goes to this brick, which is bigger than the router, and I have it set up outside. So this is the Starlink Dishy McDish face. And it's got this full phase array antenna and auto tracking. So you'll actually see it move when you first plug it in. And throughout the day, it'll slightly track the satellites in the sky. And I noticed when I had it too close to my house, the shop and these trees would get in the way. So I kind of had to put it further back and away from the building. And I had stakes in here. We had 80-mile-an-hour gusts, and it didn't seem to affect the dish, so it's nice and strong. It'd be cool to put a little mount on the camper. I even tested it out in the back of my Tesla. And it actually worked. The speeds weren't great, but it was functional. So the real question is, when we switch over to the Starlink, are we going to lose our connection? And it looks like we actually had some issues with the bandwidth, because I'm using the Wi-Fi router in my house. Probably looks a lot better now. Now the router for the Starlink satellite is actually in the camper, so let's give that a shot. So I'm going to switch over to the Starlink connection, and we'll see what kind of link we get. So Starlink only has about 20 to 30 megabytes upload speed, and when we do this, it's going to be interesting to see how it pans out. All right, here we go. We are going to switch over to Starlink. Oh, looks like we're buffering. Buffering. And we're back. So this is a live stream 4K off of Starlink, and I'm actually watching on my laptop, and it looks good. I don't see buffering. It seems like it's working. I have to say I am impressed. So the Starlink is Elon Musk's SpaceX project. They're trying to get internet around the globe to areas that don't have access to like fiber optics, more rural areas, because it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to run a $100,000 cable out to a farmer in the middle of nowhere. And it works. Like, they just started launching it this summer, and it came to my area a couple months ago. We're upgrading services. So let's try this again. I'm gonna see if we can get some better bandwidth to the camera, to my little remote rig. Oh, nope. Oh, it's not on the same network. So I've got to fix that first. So this is my little rig on my camera, on my phone, and it's using Wirecast Go, which is pretty neat, but it uses the Wi-Fi, and I gotta join the Starlink network for it to work. Right now I'm on my home network, on my phone. All right, so I should be back, hopefully on the Starlink network now. Nope. Apparently, Wirecast, it's not the greatest. Anywho, back to Tesla news. Thank you guys for watching this live stream of me testing the 4K video and how well it's going to work. I'm going to switch over to Tesla Trip. So it's teslatrip.com. Here we go. So teslatrip.com is where I'm going to go move this stream over to, and I'm going to do some live Tesla news on Saturday morning.